Hey everyone, Shal and Magi here. Welcome to my No Man's Sky video. And today I want to talk about how to make the absolute most nanites that you could possibly make in the game. And also, to a lesser extent, believe it or not, the most units you can make in the quickest amount of time. Now, when I say units in the quickest amount of time, I kind of mean without all the resources, right? So I think a lot of us know that you can make a bunch of stasis devices and make a whole ton of units in the game. However, that takes a lot of resources, right? I'm going to show you a way to make a crap ton of units with pretty much zero resource. Well, I'll get into that. Stick around. Okay, everyone, I'm back. So this is one of my oldest. I just rebuilt this, but this was one of my oldest mining bases that I ever built in the game. It's a uranium and oxygen base, and when I was building this, I remember seeing these red balls. And back then, I didn't really know what they were, but I was like, "Wow, these things are pretty wild looking. They don't look like anything else in the environment." And I remember shooting them up, and when I opened my inventory up, like I had a ton of runaway mold. Right now, I knew what runaway mold was because I had refined so much slime that turned into nanites, or that turned into runaway mold, and then you turn into nanites. Once I hit these guys, I was like, "Whoa, they're really close to my mining base. I'm going to build a thing around them because, as we all know, when you hit these, they go rolling all over the place." So I just went ahead and built a wall around them and all. Anyway, uh, yeah, I've got two videos already on runaway mold, and looks like we got a third one. And you know what? I'm probably going to be making a fourth one on building an efficient runaway mold base. This is not an efficient runaway mold base, but I mean, it's right at my one of my main bases, right? So might as well take what I can get. So I kind of want to do a little demonstration today. I'm going to start this off with the crappiest weapon that I have, okay? And that is my basilic, I think it's basilic crown or basilic staff that I got from I think it was the Relic Expedition, right? Um, and as you can see, I don't, the only mining things I have in this staff is just the normal standard mining beam. Then I've got the advanced mining laser, which this is the minimal of what you need to mine runaway mold. And then I do have the opti drill, right, which basically gives you 50% more of the resource. But I want to do a couple little test runs with y'all. So the first test run, I'm gonna I'm just gonna burn through one mold with each upgraded piece of technology. Okay, so I'm gonna remove the optical drill, and let's see what we get. Okay, so I just want to be straight up here. I don't want people to think that I'm pulling a fast one. I have absolutely no runaway mold in my inventory, okay? So let me get this guy moving. And I'm going to corner him because this is going to take forever with this weak ass laser. So we'll just go ahead and burn him down. Okay. So with with only a mining beam and an advanced mining laser, uh, we got 389 runaway mold from that one curious deposit. Okay. Which is pretty good, right? When you compare throwing slimes in the refiner, I mean, yeah, that's pretty quick. Okay, so I'm going to discard this. Right, we're going to get rid of that. Now what I want to do is I want to add the optical drill in a non-supercharged slot. So you can see none of my mining lasers are in supercharged slots. So we're going to go ahead and grab another one of these guys. We'll grab this guy right here. Let's see what just an optical drill does in a non-supercharged slot. Doesn't really speed the process up much, right? But yeah, it kind of almost doubled what we got, I would say, right? What was the first one? 389, so we got 365. That's pretty good, right? So we'll just say that it came close to doubling it. Now I'm going to discard this. Okay. Now we're going to add the optical drill in a supercharged slot. Now our resources gained are 88%. Now I'm just going to call that 100, right? To me, that's close enough to 100 that it should pretty much double what we got before. So we got 589, or we got 500 and something. All right, so let me hit this guy. All right, here we go. It's still pretty slow, though. Okay. So that got us 897. We're just going to call that 900, okay? So I would say that having the optical drill in a supercharged slot with no other mining beam upgrades it's pretty much it's going to more than double what you got without having a optical drill. Let's just put it that way, right? Because with the optical drill, I think it gave us like 589 or five and a half, right? So that's pretty powerful. Now let me get rid of that. So we're just going to call that 900. I'm going to get rid of that, and I'm going to go ahead and switch out to my specifically optimized mining multi-tool, right? Now, even though this does have damage technology in it, it does have some scanner stuff and all, this is totally optimized for mining. It's got the runic lens, it's in a supercharged slot. It's got a normal mining S-class mining beam upgrade, it's in a supercharged slot, and obviously the optical drill is in a supercharged slot, right? Let me hit one of these with the optical drill in a non-supercharged slot. Let's see what we get out of this. Right, because technically, you would think that you would get the same amount, right? So that's pretty quick. So we got a little bit more, right? The last one was 897. I was saying let's just call it 900. Well, we got 936 this time. So my guess is I don't think so much these technology upgrades, right? Because it says nothing about increasing the resources. I think maybe the runic lens being in a supercharged slot, maybe the runic lens has something to do with, pulling in a little bit more resources. That's not important now, right? So let's put this optical drill in a supercharged slot, and let me get rid of that little bit of mold that I grabbed, 936, and let's go hit another one of these. Okay, pretty quick. That time we got 1425. So that's pretty good with the optical drill in a supercharged slot. 1,425 runaway mold. Okay, pretty good. Now, of course, Let me dispose of that. All right. And I will meet you inside. Okay, everyone, I'm back. So, a lot of different numbers there, right? And pretty decent numbers, right? Because, 1,400, that's just one of those runaway molds there, right? That represents one. That does not represent the whole group of them that's sitting there. But check this out. So, if I eat some chocolate cake, I'm just going to eat one because it lasts like 10 minutes. And in 10 minutes, I could wipe out several runaway mold farms. But we can see this adds a plus 54% resources mined, right? So this is pretty much equal to a optical drill in a non-supercharged slot. All right. However, my guess is that with the optical drill already in the supercharged slot, giving us that big bonus, I'm thinking that this cake on top of it is going to scale everything from, say, 100% to pretty much doubling it, or not doubling it, but 154%. Let's see what happens now. Remember, the last number was 1436, I think. Let's go ahead and consume that. And I'm going to go ahead and hit one of these guys again. Just one of them. All right, let me hit the big one. And to be completely fair and transparent, you can see that I have absolutely no runaway mold in my inventory, and we're going to hit this guy. He's done. Look at that. With that food buff does so much more than the optical drill being in a supercharged slot. Right? Now, by all means, I'm not saying, oh, well, now you don't need a optical drill and you don't need an optical drill in a supercharged slot. What I'm saying is that food buff, right? I mean, it gave it like you could say it was 10 times stronger, roughly 10 times stronger than what we got prior to that, right? We got 14 something, 1436. Right now we've got 10,847, right? Just one mold, right? Now let me show you. I'm just gonna clean this area up. Get the rest of these guys out of here. All right. Not even a full runaway mold farm, and let's see what we got. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 stacks, right? 5 full stacks of runaway mold. If you take this one out of the mix, right? Just kind of move this off to the side. This right here is 10,000 nanites. Okay? 10,000 nanites. So yeah, let's try something here. So I've got another mold farm. Actually, I'm just going to fly up. So I've got another mold farm. I've got 2 more farms on this guy. And I actually don't even need both. I just need one more. But I'm going to stop at each one. And basically had 5 full stacks of, let's just call it 10,000, right? 9,999. We'll just call that 10,000. We have 5 full stacks of that, right? And we also have this one that we put down here. But I'm just going to throw this here with it. Oh, did it even Did it even go in? Yeah. All right, so now we'll go over to my next spot right here. Okay, and that's all. Let's see. Let's see what that turned into. Right. We'll just say that this was 1,300. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Right. So 12 plus 5, 17 so far. And then if I hit my last runaway mold spot, see what I'm left with. All right. And this right here is my center of the galaxy, center of the Euclid galaxy runaway mold farm. Okay. I'm going to hit these guys. So again, we've got 17, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. 16 spots taken up, right? Kind of will move this guy out of the way. So we've got 16 inventory spots filled with this runaway mold. Let's go ahead and take these guys out. Let me juice my shield up real quick. All right. I mean, that's pretty insane, right? Now, to go from an A-class weapon to an S-class weapon, or I believe even an A-class starship to an S-class, we know it takes 50,000 nanites. So that pretty much means that you have to have 25 spots completely filled with runaway mold in order to get that many nanites, right? So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 29, and almost 30, right? Now, that literally took me, if I wasn't talking to you guys and stuff, and with that, the teleporting time it takes, it literally took me like 3 to 4 minutes to be able to do that. Or let's just call that 5 minutes. 5 minutes, you can gather 50,000 nanites. Now, yes, of course, that's the quick part, right? The slow part is basically cooking the nanites up in your processors, right? So, each processor, or I'm saying processors, each refiner, right? Each refiner is going to take 20 minutes apiece, right? So if you have, well, just do the math, right? You can only have 5 refiners in one base, right? Last time I checked. Okay. So if you have a base with 5 refiners, in 20 minutes you're going to make 10,000 nanites, right? So go ahead and cook these up. We'll cook some of them up. Okay. Yeah, so in 20 minutes, I'll have 10,000 nanites. Okay. Now, I've got a couple weapons that are Class A, right? Um, so I've got my Basilic Crown, and that's not one of my favorite weapons. But since I got it from an expedition, I don't want to scrap it. It's a reward from the expedition, so I want to keep it. I've got this dissonant weapon, right? Now, this is a weapon I just made. Um, Here, but it's not something I'm super pressed to upgrade. But then again, with the amount of nanites that I'm able to make using this method, yeah, maybe I'll just go to the space station and upgrade this thing to an S class. Okay. And the basilic crown, and then this right here, that's the incorrect name for it, but this is the staff that was a reward from the Titan expedition, and that's this. I'm not interested in upgrading this to a class S. Now, maybe it would be cool as a class S, because actually from the relic expedition, those of you that completed it, you will be aware, that we got a pretty cool sort of appearance modification, right? Where we were able to pretty much take on, oh, damn it. We're able to take on the look or whatever. Maybe it's under Traveler. Maybe not. Let's see here. Anomaly. Try Anomaly. And then head. No. Okay, yeah. Right, the Living Stone. And then, of course, you've got the Living Stone chest piece, and then you've got the Living Stone armor. Let me go through the whole thing here. Got the gloves, the legs, right? The boots, and it's a pretty cool looking armor set. It's not bad. Might as well put the Living Stone jetpack. So in this case, let me step outside. So, in this case, I think this staff really looks nice, because it kind of, it's where it looks like a Relic World type thing, and kind of goes good with this appearance, right? But again, I'm not super pressed to turn it into an S class. However, if I wanted to, you can see that it would take me about 5 minutes to acquire everything I absolutely need to make an S class weapon out of an A class, right? So I just thought that that's really, really powerful. Now I want to show you something else that might be highly debatable, okay? So aside from upgrading staffs to S class, which, I'm probably going to turn this one into an S class. It's, whatever. It looks cool, so I'll probably turn it into an S class. It's nothing but a thing. But after that, I really have nothing that I need nanites for. Hey everyone, I'm back. So yeah, a silly way to make a huge amount of nanites, right? Just really effective. Now, as far as I was talking about how to make a lot of units from these things, well, that's a little bit different, right? So, a full stack of these is going to make you, let's see, 199 cents. Just going to call that 200,000 units, right? Not that big of a deal. Not that big of a deal. However, you've seen that just going to three different runaway mold camps, okay? Three different camps gave me pretty much 30 of these inventory slots completely filled up with this stuff. Once you upgrade everything you want in your arsenal, and once you buy every single piece of technology you want, I mean, you could just take 5 minutes, do a quick run through of, really you just need one runaway mold camp, right? You can just kill them, teleport to the closest space station, come right back, and they'll be back. Actually, one of my YouTube viewers, and I'm sorry at the moment that I don't have his name available, but he had commented on one of my runaway mold videos that you actually don't even need to teleport away for them to instantly come back. You just need to run away from your base within 300 U, right? But in my opinion, if you have a teleporter right there where you're shooting the mold, to me it's probably quicker just to port to wherever and then port right back, and they're going to be right back there. I mean, you could do that with one runaway mold farm 3 times, and you're going to, if you take the food buff and you have the opti drill in a supercharged slot, right? Um, you can make a lot of units that way, right? Now, obviously, that doesn't touch making stasis devices, right? But with stasis devices, you obviously need a lot of stuff. You need a lot of resources to make a stasis device, right? So, yeah, it's not going to be quicker by no means. But, now these things make you basically 15 and a half million units. But when you're done upgrading all your stuff to S class, I mean, to take 5 minutes, right? Maybe not even take 5 minutes, but to roughly take 5 minutes to pretty much, you know, gain 1 or 2 million units, right? Without any resources at all. The only resource it's going to take is maybe you having one of these food buffs, right? Either the chocolate cake or the anomalous tart. And let me just, I actually made a cooking video today, but in this video, let me just go over the recipe for those two things. They do the same thing. They give you plus 54 to your resources. All right, so the chocolate cake, cake batter, bittersweet cocoa, pretty simple. Anomalous tart, pie case, anomalous jam, even more simple, right? For me, this is more simple because I have an egg farm and all. But anyway, yeah, with these two recipes, man, these actually become more significant than even having the opti drill in a supercharged slot. Now, unfortunately, I did not test. Well, you know what? Let's do a test real quick. Let's see. Let's really crank down on this. So I'll go back to my main, or one of my main bases here with the runaway mold. So if you remember, I believe with the food buff, with the optical drill in the supercharged slot, I got 5 full stacks of runaway mold, plus I had like 1,400 more in another slot. So we're just going to say, right, 5 1/4 stacks. So this time, I'm going to keep everything the same, right? However, I'm not going to add any food to get the food buff. But on the weapon side, I am going to keep I'm going to keep that in there, okay? And I'll just burn through these guys real quick, okay? And again, just to be on the up and up, you can see I have no runaway mold in my inventory, so let's go and do this. Okay. All right. So that gave us 1 1/4 stack, I guess you could say. 1 1/3, we'll call it. 1 1/3 stack, right? Compared to, I'll be right back with you. Okay, everyone, I'm back. So I want to try 2 more little tests or 2 more little demonstrations. So I want to take the optical drill out of the supercharged slot. Okay. And then I want to consume a piece of chocolate cake. All right, so we're just going to take one. All right, which gives us 54 plus. All right, and let me take these guys out real quick and see what it does without the optical drill supercharged. All right, and that's all of them. So this is without a supercharged optical drill. Optical drill just in a normal spot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and some chance. We're not even going to count that. Okay, we'll kind of move that out of the way. So just with that food buff alone, right? The numbers are staggering. It's literally like 5 times or 4 times, 5 times as powerful compared to, without a food buff, but having your multi-tool, having that in the multi-tool. So now for the last time, again, I'm going to go over, I'm going to power everything to the fullest, right? Optical drill is in the S-class slot and got this overpowered food buff, right? But before I do that, I want to get rid of this runaway mold real quick, right? Just make it easier to compare. So I'm just going to go ahead and, since my refiners are busy working, I'm just going to go ahead and sell all the mold I have on me right now. All right. So I've got 50,000, pretty much 50,000 mold, and that's going to sell for 200,000. Okay, so pretty much 5 stacks. And I'm going to have to port to another location to basically, well, you know what? Tell you what, I'll move further than 300U from the base, and then I'll come right back. All right, yeah, we're 418 away, so let's go right back there. I'm not going to do no cuts, no edits. And they're still not back. What do you know? That's not a problem. We can guarantee they'll be right back after this. I'm going to go ahead and port to the space station that's right in this system here. All right, we'll go ahead and go right back. Okay. All right. Let me see if I still got my food buff going. I'm pretty sure I do. I don't think it's been 8 minutes. Okay, so I've got 5 more minutes, 6 more minutes. So everything is powered up, supercharged. Let's do this. Kind of got away from me a little bit. Okay. Yeah, it's just sick. It's ridiculous, right? So yeah, everyone, absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt, take the time to learn at least one of these recipes, okay? And here, if you need to, screenshot that, right? And you know that you can use wild milk instead of fresh milk, doesn't really matter. So go ahead and screenshot that, or a little bit of a less complex recipe, as I had stated a little earlier, in my opinion, without a shadow of doubt, is this anomalous tart. And you can go ahead and screenshot that. Again, doesn't matter, wild milk, fresh milk, right? These two food buffs are going to make you pretty much rich when it comes to nanites, right? And you get so many in such a short amount of time that, I mean, you can make a lot of units too, right? I mean, you can make a ton of units just by doing this. Now, again, not going to compare to stasis devices, but you're not using any of your resources, okay? So, yeah, I hope this helps out the newer play. I mean, this should help out newer players big time, right? If you can at least get to the anomaly and get that nutrient ingester and get the advanced mining laser and an optical drill. And maybe for more of the more seasoned players who already have runaway mold farms, you know, if you're not already acquiring a food buff, I'm sure you probably, when you farm runaway mold, you're probably putting your optical drill in a supercharged slot, right? Apply that food buff. I mean, it's going to get you, right? If I didn't have the food buff, I would have had to go to those 3 places, my 3 mining places, right? This runaway mold farm, my other one, and my center of the galaxy runaway mold farm. And I still would not have gotten this much mold from them 3 trips, right? I may have gotten like 4 or 5 stacks, right? So, yeah, that was a lot of fun, and hope this helps you out. So until next time, peace out, everyone. Take it easy.